Good morning, students. This is the class for 7th standard, subject social, and topic name is History, third lesson, Emergence of New Kingdom in South India, later Cholas and Pandyas. Okay, so first the later Cholas. Introductions. The Cholas are one among the popular and well-known Tamil monarchs in the history of South India. So if we take South India, means Cholas very popular king, and also they ruled many part of in southern India. Okay, and the elaborate state structure, the extensive irrigation network, the vast numbers of temples they built, their great contribution to art and architecture, and their overseas exploits have given them a preeminent position in history. So the Cholas in the Cholas period, the Chola kings and all built many temples, and also they given many contribution in the part of art and architecture. Okay, and also they only they only exploits overseas trade. Okay, and preeminent positions in history. Okay, but they also played a very important role in the history. Okay, next, revival of Chola rule. Revival means மறுமலர்ச்சி எப்படி சோழர்களோட ஆட்சி எப்படி மறுமலர்ச்சி ஆனது அப்படின்னு சொல்கிறாங்க. ஓகே, அண்ட் the ancient Chola kingdom regained supreme with the Kaveri Delta forming the core area of its rule, and with Urayur, present-day Tiruchirappalli, as its capital. So the Chola kingdoms regained the supreme power with the Kaveri Delta. Okay, and also they ruled area of the Kaveri Delta, and with the Urayur present day we are calling as a Tiruchirappalli, with their capitals. Okay, it rose to the prominence during the reign of Karigala, but gradually declined under the successor. So they also given importance during the regions of Karigala. Okay, but during the Karigala period they will have the important in the periods. Okay, important in the period. After that, many kings failed to rule as like Karigala. Okay, and in the 9th century, Vijayabala ruling over the small territory laying in north of Kaveri and revived the Chola dynasty. So after Karigala, who coming to the throne, Vijayalaya. Okay, so he also ruled small territory in the north. Okay, and also Kaveri, and revived Solar dynasty. Okay, திரும்பி அவர் தான் Solar dynasty ஒரு புத்துணர்ச்சியோட கொண்டு வரார். And he conquered Tanjore and made it capital. Okay, and he also captured Tanjore. Okay, this place only his capital. And later Rajendra I and his successor ruled the empire from Gangaikonda Cholapuram and the newly built capital. So after Vijayalaya, who is coming to the throne, Rajendra I. Okay, so he also they also rule the place Gangaikonda Cholapuram, which is their new capital. Okay, and Rajaraja I was the most powerful ruler of Chola Empire, and also grew popular beyond his times. Okay, so after Rajendra I only most powerful ruler among the Chola Empire. Okay, and he established the Chola authority over large parts of South India. Okay, he also ruled Sola dynasty. Okay, over the part. So Sola dynasty எது வரைக்கும் extend ஆயிருக்கு அப்படின்னா and the large part of South India வரைக்கும். And his much acclaimed naval expeditions led to the expansion of Cholas into the west coast and Sri Lanka. Okay, so after that they are expanding the territory up to Sri Lanka, and he built the famous Rameswara Pragadiswara temple in Tanjore. So Rajendra I only building the temple, Pragadiswara temple in Rameswaram. Pragadiswara temple in Tanjore. His son and his successor. So after that, who is coming? Rajendra Chola I. Okay, and his period was between 1016 to 1044. Matched his father in his ability to. So அவங்களோட ஃபாதரோட கெப்பாசிட்டிக்கு ஏற்ற மாதிரியே யார் வரா? Rajendra Chola I. Okay, he is a son of Rajendra I. Okay, and Rajendra Chola also expanded their empire, and the Chola Empire remained a powerful force in the South India during his reign. So during the Rajendra Chola, he expanded his places, and also he has a many powerful forces in South India. And after his accessions in AD 1023, his striking military expedition was to the northern India and captured the much territory there. So after that, they captured many territories nearby South India. Okay, so nearby North India, he proclaimed himself Gangai Kondan, okay, so he himself called as a Gangai Kondan, conqueror of Gangai region. So Gangai இவர் என்ன பண்ணிக்கிறாரு, நிறைய பகுதி கேப்சர் பண்ணோன்னே he called himself, okay, Gangai Kondan அப்படின்னா. Gangai Konda Cholapuram temple was built to commemorate his victory in North India. So in order to celebrate his success, okay, so he only built Gangai Konda Cholapuram temple, okay, in order to commemorate his victory in North India. And the navy of Rajendra Chola enabled himself to conquer the kingdom of Sri Vijaya. So after that, Rajendra Chola expanded navy forces also, okay, and conquered the kingdom of Sri Vijaya. So after that, he also captured the kingdom of Sri Vijaya, and Chola's control over the seas facilitated the flourish overseas. So அவங்களோட ஆட்சி பகுதி ஓவர்சீஸை தாண்டி இருக்குது, ஓகேவா. அண்ட் ஆல்சோ they started to overseas trade also and decline the Cholas empire, ஓகேவா. அவங்களோட வீழ்ச்சி எப்படி இருந்துச்சு, சோலாஸோட வீழ்ச்சி. Rajendra Chola's three successors were not capable rulers, ஓகேவா. ஸோ ஆஃப்டர் தட் ராஜேந்திர சோலாவோட அதுக்கப்புறம் இந்த 3 அரசர்கள் எப்படி இருந்தாங்கன்னா அவ்வளோவா கேப்பபிள் அல்ல அப்படின்றாங்க. அண்ட் த தேர்ட் சக்சஸர் வீர ராஜேந்திரா சன் ஆதி ராஜேந்திரா வாஸ் ஸ்கில்ட் இன் த சிவில் அண்ட்ரஸ், ஓகேவா. ஸோ உள்நாட்டில் நடந்த கழகத்தினால வீர ராஜேந்திராவோட son Adi Rajendra was killed, okay. With his death ended the Vijayalaya line of rule, okay. So after his death, the Vijayalaya line will be, the Chola dynasty will be closed, okay, ended. On hearing the death of Adi Rajendra, the eastern Chalukya prince Rajendra Chalukya seized the Chola throne and began to rule of Chalukya Chola dynasty as Klothunga I, okay. So after the death of Rajendra, on hearing the Rajendra death, Chola, okay, eastern Chalukya prince Rajendra Chalukya என்ன பண்ணினானா coming to the next throne, okay. So he started to rule the place, okay. He started to rule the Rajendra Chola dynasty with the name of Chalukya Chola dynasty as Klothunga என்ற பேரில் அந்த Chola dynasty வந்து ரூல் பண்ண ஆரம்பிக்கிறார். Klothunga established himself firmly on the Chola throne and soon eliminating all the threats to the Chola empire, ஓகேவா. ஸோ என்னென்ன எதிர்ப்புகள் என்னென்ன கீழ்ச்சிகளாக அதை எல்லாத்தையுமே யார் வந்து டெஸ்ட்ராய் பண்ணிட்டா அப்படின்னா Klothunga I யார், Chalukya Chola dynasty, Rajendra Chalukya. And he avoided unnecessary wars and earned the goodwill of his subject, okay. So he avoided unnecessary wars and also he earned good names from the peoples. And but Klothunga lost the territory inside Ceylon, okay. So Klothunga வந்து சிலோன்ற டெரிட்டரி வந்து லாஸ் பண்ணிட்டார். அண்ட் த பாண்டிய டெரிட்டரி ஆல்சோ பிகான் டு ஸ்லிப் அவுட் த Chola control. So Pandya territory also began to slip out Chola. They also going to capture Chola dynasty. And Kanjipuram was lost to Telugu Cholas, okay. So Kanjipuram யாருக்கு கீழே போயிடுச்சுன்னா தெலுங்கு சோலாஸ் கீழே போயிடுச்சு. And the year 1279 marks the end of Chola dynasty when the king Maravarman's Kulasekara Pandya I defeated the last king Rajendra Chola I. So Maravarman Rajendra Kulasekara Pandya வந்து யாரை டிஃபீட் பண்ணிடுறாங்க, Rajendra Chola III, and established the rule of Pandyas in present day Tamil Nadu. So after that யாரோட ரூல் வருதுன்னா பாண்டியாஸோட ரூல்ஸ் in Tamil Nadu வருது, okay. Okay, next one is Uttaramerur inscriptions, okay. Uttaramerur presently in Kanjipuram district was a Brahmadeya village, a land grants given to Brahmins, okay. So Uttaramerur is presently in which district, Kanjipuram district, okay. So it is Brahmadeya village. This village is gifted to Brahmins, okay. This is a land gifted to Brahmins. And there is a detailed descriptions of how members were elected to the committees of village Sabha in the inscriptions found there, okay. So there will be a committee in the village, okay. So how the members are elected for Sabha, which is also we can see it in the inscriptions. One members was elected from each wards. Okay, so each ward they will select one members. There were 30 wards in total. Totally 30 wards will be there. The eligibility to the contest was to men in the age group of 35 to 70. So the members should be having the age of 35 to 70 and well versed in Vedic text and scriptures and also owned land and houses. ஓகேவா ஸோ அந்த எலெக்ட் பண்ணுற மெம்பர்ஸ்லாம் ஏஜ் எப்போ இருக்கணும் 35 to 70 இருக்கணும். அதே மாதிரி they will be well versed in Vedic text and also scriptures. They have to have a own land and houses. And the process of election was as follows. எப்படி செலக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க அந்த எலெக்ஷனை? The names of the qualified candidates from each ward were written on the palm leaves slips. Okay, and put it into your part. ஓகேவா ஸோ பாம் லீஃபில் அந்த செலக்ட் பண்ண கேண்டிடேட்ஸ் நேம்லாம் எழுதிடுவாங்க, ஒரு பாட்டில் போட்டுருவாங்க. அந்த eldest of the assembly would engage a boy to pull out one slips and declare his name. ஸோ அந்த எல்டர்ஸ் ஓகேவா மூத்த ஒருத்தர் இருப்பார். அவர் என்ன பண்ணுவார்னா அசம்பிளிலே மூத்தவங்க இருப்பாங்கள்ல அவங்க வந்து ஒரு பாயை கூப்பிட்டு அதில் வந்து அந்த ஸ்லிப்லேருந்து ஒரு ஸ்லிப் எடுக்க சொல்லுவாங்க. அந்த ஸ்லிப்பில் யார் நேம் வருதோ அதை வந்து கொலெக்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க. வேரியஸ் கமிட்டிஸ் வேர் டிசைடட் இன் திஸ் வே. ஓகேவா ஸோ ஒவ்வொரு கமிட்டிக்கு மெம்பர்ஸை இந்த வழிமுறையில் தான் செலக்ட் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஓகே, அண்ட் நெக்ஸ்ட் ரெவன்யூ. இந்த ரெவன்யூ ஆஃப் சோலா ஸ்டேட் கேம் மெயின்லி ஃப்ரம் த லேண்ட். ஓகேவா ஸோ மெயின் ரெவன்யூ எதுலேருந்து வருதுன்னா லேண்ட் தான். இந்த லேண்ட் டேக்ஸ் வாஸ் நோன் அஸ் காணி கார்டன்ஸ். ஓகேவா ஸோ த லேண்ட் tax, another name was Kani Garden. The Chola rulers carry out an elaborate survey of land in order to fix the government shares of the land revenue. Okay, so they started to measure the land. Okay, but then only they can be able to put a land revenue. 1/3 of the produced was collected as a tax. Okay, as a land tax. Okay, so மூணுல ஒரு பகுதி அவங்களுக்கு எது மூலியமா தான் tax collect பண்ணுறாங்க? land tax மூலியமா. And it was collected mostly in a kind. Okay, but they will collect in a kind way only. In addition to the land tax, there were taxes on profession and tools on trade. Okay, so apart from land tax, okay, they are collecting profession tax and also tools on trade. Okay, next one is irrigation. Irrigation means neer pasana vasadi. Chola gave importance to the irrigation. The 16-mile long embankment built by Rajendra Chola in Gangaikonda Cholapuram is an illustrious example. Okay, so during the Rajendra Chola period, he only built அணை. ஓகேவா, அணை கட்டியிருக்கார். எவ்வளோ மீன்ஸ் 16 miles long embankment. Okay, and which is a very very important example, sir. And Vadi Vayakal cross channels. Okay, this is a changing channel and it is a traditional type of harnessing in rainwater in the Kaveri Delta. And Vadi is a drainage channels. Okay, Vadi is drainage channels and Vayakal is the supply channels. Okay, so Vayakal and the neera maatri virudhu. And commonly owned village channels was called as Ur Vayakal. So some of them having a own வில்லேஜ் சேனல்ஸ். ஓகேவா, சொந்தமாக நீர்ப்பாசனம் வசதி வச்சுருப்பாங்க. அதுக்கு வந்து ஒரு வயக்கால். த நாடு லெவல்ஸ் வயக்கால் இஸ் ரெஃபர் டு அஸ் அ நாடு வயக்கால். அண்ட் the turn system was in practice in distributing the water. Okay, so the turning system will be there in order to distribute the waters for different places. Okay, and temples at the Chola period witnessed an extensive construction of temples. So during the Cholas period they built many temples. The temples in Tanjore, Gangaikonda Cholapuram and Tarasurams are the repository of architecture, sculptures, painting and iconography of Chola art. And the temples during the Chola period were not merely places of worship. Okay, so during the Chola period we can were not merely places of worship. Okay, during Chola period we cannot able to see many worship places. Okay, and they were the largest landholders. And so during the Chola period many landholders will be there. And also temples promoted education and devotional forms of art such as dance, music, drama. So during his period, okay, Chola's period, temples were also they built, and also education and also devotional forms either the dance and music, dramas are also they introduced. And the staffs of the temples included temple officials, dancing girls, musicians, singers, players of musical instrument, and the priest. Okay, so in the Chola period, many staffs were also there in the field of temple officials, dancing girls, musicians, and also singers and players of some particular instruments, and priests also there. Okay, next one is the later Pandyas. So after Chola dynasty, who's coming? Pandya. Introduction. Pandyas were one of the three ancient Tamil dynasty that ruled southern India since the 4th century BCE, but intermediately. Okay, so after that, in Tamil dynasty, who ruled? The Pandyas only ruled till since 4th century BC, and Korka is associated with the pure fishery, is believed to have been the early capital and port. Okay, so Korke is related with the pure fishery, but Korke will be the early capital for them, so for Pandyas. Okay, and they moved to Madurai later. After that, they moved to Madurai, and as many early Tamil inscription of Pandyas have been unearthed in Madurai and its surroundings. Okay, so after that, they started to rule Madurai and surrounding places by Pandyas. And the Pandya kings of the Sangam age, Madurai was a great center of cultures. Okay, so under the Pandyas, Pandya கீழே வந்ததுக்கப்புறம் Madurai was a great center of cultures. Poets and writers of Tamil language gathered there and contributed to the development of Tamil classic. Okay, so the many poets and writers for Tamil languages, they gathered in Madurai, and also they done many contribution to for the development of Tamil classic. The Pandyas had re-established their strong position in South Tamil Nadu by the end of the 6th century AD after eliminating the ruler of Kalambaras. Okay, so Kalambara vandu pona piragu, who's giving a strong position in Tamil Nadu? Pandyas only. And but they could not resist the rising power of later Cholas, who ruled South India from 9th to 13th century. Thereafter, taking advantage of the decline of Chola power. Okay, so after a decline of Chola period, Chola power, who's coming? Pandyas only ruling the South India from 9th to 13th century. Okay, and the later Pandyas re-established the authority. The rules continue until 6th century. Okay, until 6th century, the Pandyas only giving authority. Okay, Okay, next one is revival of Pandya kingdom. That means renaissance of Pandya kingdom. Kadukkan recovered Pandya territory from the Kalambaras towards the close of 6th century. Okay, so from the Kalambaras, Kadukkan Pandyan only recovered the Pandya territory. Okay, and also in the 6th century, he was succeeded by the two others. Arikesri Maravarman was the first strong Pandyan ruler who ascended the throne in AD 642. Okay, so who is the first strongest ruler of Pandya? Means Arikesri Maravarman, sir. Okay, and he was a contemporary of Mahendra Varma I and also Narasimha Varma I. Okay, so he also one of the kings, Pandya king, during the contemporary of Mahendra Varma I and also Narasimha Varma I. Inscription and copper plates prize his victory over his counterparts. Okay, and Cheras, Cholas, Pallavas, and Sinhalese. Arikesri Maravarman is identified with Kun Pandyan and persecutor of Jains. Okay, so among them, who is considered as a very famous ruler, means identify ruler means Arikesri Maravarman. Okay, and after Arikesri, the greatest of the dynasty was Jitila's Parantaka Nedunjalians. Okay, so after Arikesri, who's coming to the throne? Next one is Jitila Parantaka Nedunjalian, also known as Varaguna I. Okay, and the donor of the Velvakudi plates. Okay, he only the donor of the Velvakudi plates. Okay, and Nedunjalian expanded the Pandya territory to include Tanjore, Tiruchirappalli, Salem, and Coimbatore district. Okay, so after that, he also expanded his territory. These places, Tanjore, Tiruchirappalli, Salem, and Coimbatore district. And Nedunjalian's successor, Sri Vallabha and Varaguna II. Okay, so after Nedunjaliyan, who is coming to the throne, okay va. Srimara, Sri Vallabha and also Varaguna II were successfully defeated by Pallavas, okay va. So these peoples are defeated by Pallavas, okay, and later they could not face the rise of the Chola dynasty under the Parantaka one, okay. So after that the Chola dynasty is flourished with Parantaka one, and Parantaka one defeated Pandya king Rajasimha II, okay va. So the Parantaka one only defeated Pandya king Rajasimha II, who fled the country in 1920, okay va. So after that he went away from his country, okay. Rajasimha வந்து அந்த நாட்டை விட்டு வெளியே போயிறார். Thus entered the Pandya rule, revived the Kadukan, okay. And so with this these Pandya ruler Kadukan itself, the Pandya kingdom will be ended, okay. Okay, next one is Sadayavarman Sundarapandyan. The illustrious ruler of the second Pandya kingdom was Sadayavarman, also known as Jadavarman Sundarapandyan. His period is between 1251 to 1268. Okay, so the very famous leader, famous ruler in second Pandya kingdom is Sadayavarman, also called as Jadavarman Sundarapandyan. He brought the entire Tamil Nadu under his rule, okay, which is expanded up to Nellore in Andhra. So he extended his ruling place up to Nellore in Andhra, and he held Keslas in Czech. And the Chera ruler, the chieftain of Malanadu, accepted his feudatory positions and paid tribute to Sundarapandyan. Okay, so the chieftain of Malanadu accepted to pay the tribute to Sundarapandyan. Okay, and emboldened by the decline of Chola state, the Poja king of Malwa regions, Veera Someswara, challenged Sundarapandyan. Okay, so the Poja king of Malwa, okay, Sola is in the Boja king of Malwa regions, Vikrama Someswara, okay, he is declaring one challenge to Sundarapandyan, okay. In a war at Kannur, Sundarapandyan defeated Someswara. So at the Kannur place, Sundarapandyan defeated Someswara, okay. So Sundarapandyan வந்து யாரை வந்து தோற்கடிச்சிறாரு, Someswara, and Sundarapandyan succeeded in establishing his authority over the chieftain of Kudalur, okay, Kadalur. So after that defeated, okay, after victory over Someswara, Sundarapandyan established his ruling place, okay, the chieftain of Kadalur and Kanjipuram in northern Tamil Nadu, and Arcot and Salem in the western region. Okay, these places are under the control of Sundarapandyan. Okay, and there were 2 or 3 co-regions who ruled simultaneously along with the Sundarapandyan. So along with the Sundarapandyan, there will be 2 or 3 co-regions. கூட்டு அரசர்களாக என்ன பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா ஆட்சி செய்கிறாங்க, ஓகே. அண்ட் தேர் வில் பி விக்ரம பாண்டியன் அண்ட் வீரபாண்டியன், ஓகேவா. ஸோ அந்த கோரீஜன்ஸ் கிங்ஸ் யார் அப்படின்னா ரூலர் என்ன, விக்ரம பாண்டியன் அண்ட் வீரபாண்டியன், ஓகே. ஆஃப்டர் சுந்தரபாண்டியன், ஓகேவா, சுந்தரபாண்டியனுக்கு அப்புறம் மரவர்ம குலசேகரன் ரூல்டு சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்லி ஃபார் த பீரியட் ஆஃப் 40 years, ஓகேவா. ஸோ ஆஃப்டர் சுந்தரபாண்டியன் ஹூ இஸ் ரூலிங் த பிளேஸ், Maravarman Kulasegaran only ruled the Pandya kingdoms, okay, and 40 years, giving the country peace and prosperity, okay. So during 40 years he is giving very peaceful and also prosperity to the people. He had 2 sons, who Maravarman Kulasegaran had 2 sons. His name is Veerapandiyan and also Sundarapandyan, okay. So Veerapandiyan Sundarapandyan yaroda pasanga, Maravarman Kulasegaran pasanga, okay. The king's appointment of Veerapandiyan as a co-regent provoked other son Sundarapandyan, who killed his father Maravarman Kulasegaran, okay. So என்ன பண்ணாருன்னா Maravarman Kulasegaran declared co-regents, declared as a co-regents விக்ரமபாண்டியன் என்ன எப்படி அப்பாயிண்ட் பண்ணுறது, co-regents கூட்டு அரசராக வந்து நியமிக்கிறதுனால இது யாருக்கு பிடிக்கலை, சுந்தரபாண்டியனுக்கு பிடிக்காமல் என்ன பண்ணுறாரு, அவரோட ஓன் ஃபாதர் யார் மரவர்மன் குலசேகரனை கொலை பண்ணிடுறாரு, ஓகேவா. ஹூ கில் தட் சுந்தரபாண்டியன் only killed Maravarma Kulasegaran. In the civil war that ensued, Veerapandiyan won and became firmly established his kingdom. So after these civil war, okay, இந்த உள்நாட்டு போனால என்ன ஆயிடுது, உள்நாடு போனால மரவர்மன் குலசேகரனோட இன்னொரு பையன் வீரபாண்டியன் won the war and also established his ruling place in the kingdom, okay. And The defeated Sundarapandyan fled to Delhi and took refuge under the protection of Alauddin Khalji. So the defeated தோற்கடிக்கப்பட்ட சுந்தரபாண்டியன் யார்கிட்ட போய் வந்து பாதுகாப்பு கேட்குறாங்க அப்படின்னா Alauddin Khalji, okay, and this provide the opening for the invasion of Malik Kafur, okay. So this is lead to the invasion of Malik Kafur, and after Malik Kafur's invasions, the Pandya kingdom came to be divided among a number of kings from the main ruling Pandya's family. So after Malik Kafur invasions, the Pandya kingdom can be divided into number of small kingdoms, okay. Main ruling Pandyas, so Pandya's family வந்து சின்ன சின்ன கிங்டமாக பிரிஞ்சு போயிறாங்க. And in Madurai, a Muslim state subordinate to the Delhi Sultan came to be established. So after that, in Madurai, Muslims also establishing some subordinate under the control of Delhi Sultan also emerged, okay. So next heading is religion. Pandya's extended patronage to Vedic practices, Velvikudi copper plates, as well as the inscriptional sources mention the rituals like Ashwamedha Yaga and Hiranyakarbha and Vajabeya Yaga conducted by every great Pandya kingdom, okay. So they are Pandya kings conducted some rituals, okay. Some யாகம்லாம் நடத்துகிறாங்க, okay. அந்த யாகத்தோட நேம் தான் Ashwamedha Yaga and Hiranyakarbha and Vajabeya Yaga, which is conducted by some great Pandya kings. And in the impartiality of rulers towards both Saivism and Vaishnavism is also made in the invocatory portions of the inscription, okay. So there will be some partial between Saivism and also Vaishnavism, which is also mentioned in the inscription, okay. And the temples of both sects were patronized through land grant and tax exemptions and renovations, okay. So these two things are having many more, both Saivism and Vaishnavism, there will be two sects. In the two sects, there will be many they given many lands to them and also tax exemption for them, okay. And the great Saiva and Vaishnavism saints Nayanmas and Alvas combined contribute to the growth of Tamil literature and spiritual enlightenment. So both Saiva and Vaishnava saints we call Nayanmas and Alvas, okay. So both are combined and also they contribute to the growth of Tamil literature, okay. And the period was marked by the intense religious conflict. The Bhakti movement of the time prompted to the heterodox scholar for a debate, okay. And many instances of the debate of Buddhist and Jains in such a debates are mentioned in the Bhakti movement. So after the Saivam and Vaishnavism, there will be another sects of religions also followed, which is also conducted many debate in the Bhakti literature. And Pandya kings of period supported and promoted Tamil and Sanskrit, okay. So during the Pandya kings and all promoted or supported Tamil and Sanskrit, okay. And temples in medieval Pandyas and later Pandyas did not build any new temples, but maintained the existing temples, enlarging them with the additions of cobras and mandapas, okay. So in the medieval period of Pandyas or later Pandyas, they will not build any new buildings, but they will not build any temples, new temples or any architecture, okay. But they will extensions and they will add some things to the temples, like cobras kattradhu, mandapam kattradhu, and மாதிரி சும்மா additions வேலையை பார்த்துட்டாங்க. And the monolithic mega size ornamented pillar or unique features of medieval Pandya style. So these things and all very ornamental pillars, there will be unique features in the medieval Pandya style. The sculptures of Shiva, Vishnu, Kottravai, Ganesha and Subramanya are the best specimens in these temples, okay. And Pandya specially patronized the historic Meenakshi temple at Madurai and kept expanding its premises by adding cobras and mandapas. So the temples, Meenakshi's temples in a Pandya's period, which is built at Madurai, it keep expanding by adding, okay. எப்படி expand பண்ணுறாங்கன்னா அது மண்டபம் கட்டுறது மூலயமா expand பண்ணிக்கிட்டே இருக்காங்க, okay. And next one is trade. Arab settlements on the west coast of southern India and from 7th century had led to the expansion of the trade connection to the east coast because of the government of the east coast pursued a more liberal and enlightened policy towards overseas traders. So they also due to Arab settlements also many trade will be occurs, okay, in the 17th century, and the chartered exempted trader from various types of port dues and tolls, okay. So and also many charters which is prescribed for traders also, okay. In Kayals there was an agency established by an Arab chieftains by man Malik ul Islamin Jamaluddin, okay. So this is a trade man from Arab chieftains, okay. This agency facilitated availability of horses to Pandya kings, okay. So through this agency they are getting horses for Pandya kings. And in the 13th and 14th century horse trade become brisk, okay. So very busy in doing horse trade and all. During 13th and 14th century, Marco Polo and Wasp stated that the kings invested in horse as there was a need of horse for ceremonial purposes as well as for fighting wars, okay. So in those days, okay, Marco Polo and Wasps they are mentioned in their books. The kings those are invested in a horse, okay, for the purpose of ceremonial purposes, okay. எதுக்கெல்லாம் ஹார்ஸை வந்து யூஸ் பண்ணிட்டாங்கன்னா ceremonial purposesக்கு, அதே மாதிரி fighting warsக்கு, okay. And those who were trading in horses were all called குதிரை chettis, okay. So who are trading with the horse mean they are called as a குதிரை chettis. And they were active in maritime trade also. கடல் சார்ந்த வணிகமும் அவங்க பண்ண ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க. The busiest port town under the Pandyas was Kayalpattinam, which is now in Thoothukudi district, okay. So busiest port means in Pandya during the Pandya period means Kayalpattinam, okay. Now it is called as a Thoothukudi district on the east coast. Gold coins were in a circulation as the trade was carried through the medium of gold, okay. So they started to use gold coins also for the purpose of trade and carried through the medium of gold. இது மூலியமா gold மூலியமா it was variously called காசு and கலன்சு and pawn, okay. So they were called these gold coins as a காசுன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, அதே மாதிரி கலன்சு and pawn they were called, okay. Thank you students.